it's actually the key for us to take back control from Google, from OpenAI, from Facebook, from governments. When we can reclaim our data and open up our data, it can actually enable exponential value creation and opportunity creation and problem and innovation. I've been in crypto since 2013. I saw the technology and never looked back, and viewed this as the scalpel to the cancer that is the central bank fractional reserve banking system.
Of course. How did you first see the light with crypto, and when was that?
Well, I was really into like gold. The movie Zeitgeist back in like 2007 really like opened my eyes to the men behind the curtains, and then was looking for solutions on that. Thought gold would be that solution. And then Bitcoin came along. I remember seeing Bitcoin in like 2010, like really early, and just dismissing it. Like I just didn't give it enough. But then in 2013, someone came along and like was my mentor, I guess you could say, who brought me in and just answered all the questions.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a drunken Englishman walked into the bar that I was working at, claiming he had 50,000 Bitcoins, big fat alcoholic drug addict, pretending to have all this coin. Convinced, a very good salesman, pathological liar, however, and he's not around anymore. Fancy that.
Karma's a bitch.
No, it's like, it's one of the things about reputation too. It's like, when you screw over people, like you have to go away and hide. Yeah. And had you just been like, noble and honorable about value creation at that time, we should be very, 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 very successful. But instead, he's a Decepticon in my opinion. But I'm grateful to him for, being that entry point and, just really like answering the questions and giving me that moment. And at the time I had an iPhone business, an iPhone case business, and someone reached out from btcquick.com to get an iPhone case. I was like, I'd love to make one for you. I'm like, can you want to pay with Bitcoin? He's like, sure. I'm like, how much? I'm like, half a Bitcoin. I paid half a Bitcoin for an iPhone. That was my very first Bitcoin. I didn't mine it. I didn't buy it. Sold an iPhone case for her.
You're the half-brother of Canada's ex-Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, which obviously in people's mind, especially if you're in crypto, and I would say especially if you're in the Bitcoin space, are kind of like two opposite forces. Before talking a little bit more about that, how did you combine or reconcile in your life your passion for crypto, which is kind of revolutionary, with your, I don't want to say your image, but you're inherently tied to a certain image, let's say, of a government, of a certain kind of government, etc.? How did your life, pan out, basically?
I don't know. I mean, Justin is his own man. Yes, we have the same mother. I love him very much. We have very different opinions on things, and whatever. He's his own man. He makes his own decisions. I have worked in the political sphere a bunch, and it's a lot of gossip, a lot of money, a lot of backstabbing, a lot of bullshit. We need a better system altogether. The current system encourages actorial candidates to rise to the top because that are good at following orders, working for the spider, if you will. And I just, I've been subversive my whole life, maybe a black sheep a little bit as well, but I don't really care because I just do what I do and I do what I believe in. I want to create value and I want to help others and solve problems. So, even just the association, like, oh, that's his brother. Yeah, sure, whatever. Like, I don't take it personally, but for others, it means something. Like they tend to make assumptions, or there's some kind of, I guess it's like a celebrity thing that people kind of lean into. But recognize.
Would you say it has helped you in some ways, the celebrity, or has it been more of a deterrent? Because you're pretty discreet as well, right? You're an advocate, and at the same time, you're not. Very visible.
Bro, I'm just me. And I do radical activations sometimes, and I'm very public, other times, and then private other times. So has his career helped me? It may have opened a couple doors, probably closed a couple doors.
Right. And it evens out.
Yeah, so whatever. It just is what it is.
So what do you do now?
So now, I'm helping the Look project do the largest onboarding of users into crypto potentially ever.
Okay.
I'm working with a company called Raze.finance as well, a company that I helped start. on real-world asset tokenization. Just gave a great talk inside there. I wrote a book called The Unified Wallet, Unlocking the Digital Golden Age. Crypto usability is something very near and dear to me. So, and having been in the ecosystem so long, I know, I know a lot of the companies and the people and have good relationships. So there's trust. So now we can we can connect and weave different pieces together towards solving problems. I like to solve problems, and that's the spirit of capitalism. When there's a gap, someone innovates to fill the gap. So I'm a fixer. I'm a creator.
How do you feel about the evolution of this industry? I mean, some people are maybe lamenting that this industry is becoming too institutional and corporate.
Whatever. And nags are going to nag all the time. There's just people that just are nags, and no matter what it is, they're going to bitch and whine. So honestly, don't again, recognize the words that people use can form assumptions, and it's too institutional. What industry? The thing is, this industry from was it Bitcoin to what about Ethereum? What about Solana? What about XRP? The whole growth, the identity, the DeFi, the meme coins, bro. It is so fun and it is so big, and it's yes, there are major corporations delving in, and literally we're here in the Look booth. We have literally the biggest adult company, a top 10 website committed towards rolling hard in meme coins and Web3. And and solving inherent problems, and first recognizing and understanding major challenges that they face as a result of the existing system, and they're excited to explore and adopt Web3, decentralized, efficient, open source solutions that will not just help them and help their bottom line, but will help, frankly, the world. So and we've seen gambling in adult. Our trendsetters or lead innovation. So, this is history repeating. It's a good bet.
Awesome. So yesterday, as per the recording of this interview, Canada had its budget, for 2025. Well, I mean, the highlight for the crypto industry was that stablecoin legislation was a little paragraph about this big, where they're saying they're going to table it. So when you hear that, is that good news? Some people are saying it's way too late. Canada's lost its edge in blockchain already. On which camp do you kind of how do you look at it?
Personally, I don't trust the Mark Carney and his masters and the Liberal Party and their masters at all. Okay. And frankly, you don't really need their legislation. Mm-hmm. Even with the Genius Act here in the States, it's kind of you put these regulations around it, and it can actually hurt innovation a little bit. And it's in my opinion, the CBD, the stable coin is the CBDC. USDC is already kind of the CBDC, the central bank digital currency. So now we're gonna get if Canada adopts this is how Canada moves to it. We're already seeing Canada on a really shitty course. They're censoring voices. They've debanked political opponents. We're literally there's people like Tamara Lich and Chris Barber who are criminals for expressing civic duty and civic intent, and it's not a good scene in my that's why personally I have left.
How do you feel about the American scene where you've got a president who, since he's become a president for the second time, has invested massively in the industry? I think his assets per the Financial Times, if you believe the Financial Times, there's 10 billion plus right now in this industry. Is that a good thing, or is that a bit of a risk, a time bomb for the industry?
Oh, it's super bullish. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's as bullish as it gets. The fact that the president and his family are really open and looking at these incredibly innovative, new solutions. They're not listening to Soros and the Rothschilds and the legacy central banking, tech stack, if you will. They're looking forward. Super fucking bullish, bro. This is gonna be
That's awesome to hear. There's a final question for you. Do you have any prediction? And I'm not asking about price. I don't care. I'm just mean anything that you see through your lens that is perhaps contrarian, that you have high conviction about? Like, this is going to happen over the next coming years, whatever the naysayers or whatever, the mainstream believes?
Yeah, I'll say the one is digital identity.
Okay.
And this is something that I've known, like I wrote in my book about, like, we're right on the edge. It's like, the digital identity, it can be a path towards privacy and increasing privacy and owning our own data if done properly.
Right.
If done in a centralized fashion, it can be a tool for dystopia. Even in a decentralized fashion, it can be like with abusive legislation and requirements put on the people that is enforced by governments, police, agencies, etc. It can also be dystopian. So it's really, but that said, it can also open up democracy, like, enable concepts like liquid democracy and a more direct democracy. We need to be looking at our entire governance system and upgrading that. And, like, I've always been ahead of the curve on things. And I know a lot of people are really scared, especially a lot of, like, maybe my followers or people that enjoy my points of view are concerned about digital identity.
Yeah.
But I think, it's actually the key for us to take back control from Google, from OpenAI, from Facebook, from governments.
Right.
By returning around from the healthcare, from the insurance. Like, and also when we can reclaim our data and open up our data, it can actually enable exponential value creation and opportunity creation and problem and innovation.
Yeah.
That's it.
Fascinating.
That's great. Well, what do you think?
Thank you very much. I think you're onto something.
Bro.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
Really
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.